Back in the mid to late 90s, when the Nintendo 64 was current, PS1 was just called PlayStation, and we were in anticipation of the GameCube and of what Sony was going to do next, you could go into a used game store and pick up a pile of NES games for $2 each, and sometimes less. It was during this time that we brought home a haul of cartridges that included Palamedes, a special puzzle shooter type of game. It was special to me because I took more of an interest in it than the rest of my family, and since we didn't have an instruction book that came with it, I had to figure out the game and how to play it. Doing so successfully and then beating the game was immensely satisfying. But now I would like to share this game with you, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. My only complaint about this game I did not have until the internet and Google became prevalent, and that is the box art. I only had the cartridge when we first brought the game home, but seeing the box art is the stuff of nightmares. The back of the box explains our objective in the second paragraph. Destroy the cascading lines of dice before you are squashed under their weight. And it's funny that the back of the box says Palamedes is not for the meek. A meek person has been defined as teachable. Now you may be wondering where the name Palamedes comes from. Well, in the instruction book that I did not find until Google was a thing, under the introduction it says that it is believed that dice have been in existence since as far back as 67 AD. The famous Greek writer Sophocles wrote that dice were invented by Prince Palamedes of Greece during the siege of Troy. But again, Palamedes is not for the meek. No fancy introductions or cutscenes to be seen here. We just get right to our title screen and begin our play. Like the back of the box says, the object of the game is to eliminate the lines of descending dice before they plummet down completely and squash you. To eliminate a die, you must use the B button to match the number on the face of your shooter die to the number on the face of your target, then shoot with A. Now in single player mode, you have 20 stages of 20 lines each, and as you go along each stage, the dice will fall faster and faster. You can choose a more difficult setting at the beginning. As you saw at the beginning, we had the opportunity to choose between levels 1 through 5, and this just controls how fast the dice will fall as the 20 levels progress. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the current high score, your personal score, what stage you are on, and how many lines have yet to reveal themselves on screen. Now, we were able to figure this much out on our own, and if you can beat a level in this simple way, just using your A and B buttons to change and eliminate the die one by one, you'll get an extra bonus at the end of the level of 50,000 points. However, the falling lines do get faster as the stages progress, and it gets next to impossible to keep up just shooting one die at a time. Additionally, when playing versus mode against the computer, we realized that the computer was clearing multiple lines at the same time while throwing lines at us, the player, and we could not figure out how they were doing so. Now, eventually, I learned the purpose of the dice you eliminate at the bottom of the screen appearing in succession. When you've made a good hand using these dice, a good combo, and you press the control pad down, this is when it will wipe out multiple lines of descending dice at the same time. Using the label on the cartridge helped me to understand what hands were available to me. But the instruction book went into more detail. You have 3, 4, 5, and 6 of a kind, which will eliminate 1, 2, 3, or 4 lines at once. And then there are continuous numbers. Having a run of 3 numbers in a row will eliminate 1 line of dice, a run of 4 will eliminate 2, and a run of 5, 3 lines. but a run of 6 is different and special, as we will see. This page shows us how things get special. There is a combination called a blackjack, where any dice that you are using that totals 21 will eliminate one line of dice, and then you can combine hands. You can gain points by using one die in 2 different hands at the same time. So instead of a combination of 6 numbers running together eliminating 4 lines, it also equals 21, so that adds an extra line, making it the most powerful hand in the game, a straight flush eliminating 5 lines at once. That's about half the screen. Now that we've explained the game, let's fast forward to a more difficult level. This is about as far as I can make it without using any combos to get that score multiplier. So as you can see, the lines are dropping quicker, and it is smart to keep up with them as fast as you can think. So you stay on your toes, look at what's coming, see what kind of combo you can make, start planning ahead of time. Sometimes it helps to wait until 2 or 3 lines come down so that you can make a plan of action. But again, as the levels get farther and things get faster, allowing lines to come down may not be the most strategic decision you can make. Personally, I like to go for the full run of 5, the straight flush, to get rid of 5 in a row. Or if I can fill up one full line all the same and get rid of 4 lines at once. So I like to go big or go home. Now let's fast forward to level 18. I am pretty sure it is physically impossible to get rid of lines only one at a time, one die at a time, that is, at this point in the game. If anyone is able to do better, I would love to see it. That would look pretty cool and impressive, but I just don't think this game is that popular that someone has attempted that. But if someone watching this video knows that there is a video where someone has attempted it successfully and posted it, let me know and I'll put it in the description. So as you can see, you just have to take what's coming at you and make your decisions as quickly as possible on the fly. In fact, you may be planning to make one decision, and then as the lines are coming down, you'll have to just pull the trigger and press down on the control pad with whatever you have on the bottom and hope that it's enough to do a combo. Or you may see a different set of dice coming down from what you originally planned that is just better to do in the moment. And that's the exciting part about this game. It has the shooter feel, but also puzzle. And I like that, having to think under the gun. No pun intended. Final stage, here we come. You can't always go big or go home at the final stage. You have to just take what you can get. Fortunately, a lot of blocks were in a row, all the same of a kind, and that helped me out. But really, if you make 2, 3 mistakes on the final level, you're done. One nice thing is that each stage has 20 lines, so as the columns fall faster, the levels go faster. It would feel like a lot more pressure if you had to clear out 40 lines with it coming down this quickly. Alright, that's single player. Now how does versus work? Well, we'll go into the tournament mode and we'll keep it short. We'll do best out of 3 and we will explain how to play competitively. But first, because I'm a sucker for lore, here are the names of the characters you will face. Jane will be our first opponent, and to save time, we're going to skip ahead to the second fight with her. Now the way versus mode works is the lines that you eliminate will get thrown in your opponent's direction if you get rid of more than one line. Whenever you eliminate lines and you throw lines at your opponent, you will always send one line less to your opponent than the total number of your combo. So the maximum lines you can throw at your opponent is 4. Now in 2-player mode, when it's you versus another player, you can set a handicap for one of the players so that even if they have a big combo, they only send one line to the opposing player. That's if they have the maximum handicap on. There's 3 different levels of handicap. Gramps is our next opponent, and as you can tell, we have 4 rounds to the tournament, or 4 levels to the tournament, before the champion is crowned. So Gramps is going to be a little bit more decisive than Jane in the last round, and he will be a bit more clever as well. Now the NPCs that you fight are random, so our first opponent is not always Jane, and our second opponent isn't always Gramps. And you get to see different colors of the different characters as well. And we did the same thing at the beginning of this match. We just fast forwarded to the second match with Gramps to save time. Now an added detail to the versus mode, since you send one line less to your opponent than the total line of your combo, keep in mind that it is the last line that doesn't get sent to your opponent. So if you're going to use a 5-line combo to throw 4 lines at your opponent, all you have to do is wait for 4 lines to show up on your screen. The music turns up as we pass the halfway point of the tournament. I guess we would call this the semifinals. I don't do a lot of tournaments, besides Smash Brother tournaments. But anyway, Jane is back, and by the brackets, we will not be facing Nugget, Stravinsky, or Isabelle during this match. But it does get more intense. The computer will throw everything they've got at us and really give us a run for our money. You may be utilizing one plan, you may have a certain strategy, but based on the pressure the computer is throwing at you, you will have to come up with something on the fly. And that makes the game exciting. This is as good as Palamedes gets right here. I've never watched a recording of myself before, so I get to critique my decisions. Fortunately, I picked up all those ones like I should have, and now I have the opportunity for a straight flush. Which is good. I took it. Oh, no, I didn't. I missed the fact that I had 2 2s on the bottom. There's the 5 lines. Putting the pressure back on Jane. Here's another 5-liner. Waiting until I get 4 full lines to throw at her. Round over. Spoiler alert, I won the next round too. The finals music kicks in as we rematch against Grandpa, or another Grandpa. All I need are 2 lines to activate those 3 lines. Now Palamedes did get a sequel, and I believe a version on the Game Boy as well, but it really was just an aesthetic difference. The rules of the game were all the same, from what I understand. It was released in Japan only, and I've never been able to play it myself. Now the last level really does test your ability at Palamedes. It is an enjoyable challenge. The rounds can be a little bit long because the NPCs are that challenging. As you can see, he's putting the pressure on me pretty good right now, and he's keeping his own advantage over me. But here comes my opportunity for a straight flush if I can move quickly enough. Sometimes if you're moving nervously, you'll push a button twice and accidentally skip the dice that you were trying to shoot, and then you have to end up cycling through it all over again. I may have had an opportunity for a flush there, but again, I'm thinking on my feet. Now, you could pause the game and look at the lines and make your plan of action. I have done that before. The dice does not disappear when you pause the game. So that gives you an opportunity to take a break, take a breather, and fight against the NPC with a little bit more time to think. Well, with a lot more time to think, actually, because you get to take as much time as you want. But I like the challenge of constantly thinking on my feet, so I don't typically like to pause anymore when I'm playing this game. Maybe if I'm playing in front of people and I don't want to waste their time by me losing and starting over again. But on my own, I like the challenge and I don't mind losing if I am bested by the computer. The real test to my patience comes from PvP, but as long as I'm fighting against the computer, I'm pretty chill. It's an epic battle when you and your opponent go blow for blow. I've still got the pressure on him this time, and I believe I'm going to hold my upper hand. Oh, you've got the pressure on me now. Here we go. Finito. Classically comical ending. Now, because of my own nostalgia and memories wrapped up with this video, I want to let you know that if you've taken the time to watch this video in particular of Palamedes or Palamedes, sometimes I fall into my old pronunciation of it, I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you liked it, because this game is near and dear to my heart, and it's very special that I get to share it, and to share how much I enjoy it with others. Thanks for listening to An Old Gamer, and just in case you were wondering, here is what the game over music sounds like.